It's me, Coach Dave. Sick of not going undefeated, but I think I'm getting through my system. This video is about knowing your alignment, and then when we have practice, we'll work on our assignment so that on game day we can attack. And so without further ado, let's work on our alignment. Here's our basic right formation. As we call it, we like to call our strength to the Y receiver type. That's the Dylan Carters of the world. And then usually our Z goes to that strength side. That's the Gavin Brodys of the world. If you didn't know, we're sort of a pistol offense team where we run the option. The X typically goes away. Quick note on spacing here. Left guard, right guard. You're always trying to nudge out just to maybe 3-4 inches each play and see what the defensive guy does. Y and X, you're doing the same thing, 3 or 4 inches wider each play. And before you know it, you're actually getting close to the hash marks. What's good about that is we got one of the best running backs in the league. He gets more space. Another benefit of that is if there's a defensive end who's told to contain and rush outside the Y, look at how much farther he has to go as opposed to if we're in compressed splits, right? That's a very different rushing and how much time it takes him to get to the QB. Those are all good benefits. Hey, as you widen, right, let's not get too ridiculous, but let's just say you widen out here and you notice the guy is going to blitz through the A gap. Just turn around and look at James and say pause or stop and reset your stance, bring your Y in, and we're good, right? Because our priority as linemen is to protect the inside first and then go from there, all right? All right, so that's our basic formation. Let's go to the next one. Now, I said we set the strength to the right based on the Y, so if I called left, which we don't do very often, it would look like this, all right? And then all the same rules apply, but I haven't talked about the Z yet. Z, have a clue. If we're running speed option, be on the numbers. If you're going to motion, I'm fine with you being inside the numbers, but be close to them, okay? Again, on the numbers means you're on them. Outside the numbers, which we don't ever do, or inside the numbers, all right? So that's a thought there. Here we go, right, X strong. This is a beautiful formation for us. Just to review, we like to run that sort of Z orbit motion where the Z comes in motion behind, but then we go back the same way, just trying to break tendencies. Again, you could be on the numbers we wouldn't, but if we ran speed option, you could be inside the numbers to set up your motion, that's fine. All right, similar concept, the Z goes weak, so it says right Z weak. Like this, we could run speed option out of this to the left, and we could pass out of this as well. So there's that. The left Z close, so it's pretty self-explanatory. The Z, you become like a wing, just like the X does. The X is just right next to him like you were on the line of scrimmage, but he's off a little bit, and then each play he widens a couple inches, right? So don't expect your spacing to be exactly the same every time from the center because we might be widening it out. We like this tighter formation because we can run sort of misdirection, aka a reverse, real fast, suddenly going the other way. So left Z close. Here's aces, good formation for us. Again, you can see that beautiful spacing by those interior linemen right in here, the X, the Y, the guards in the center. And then if we run to the right, that's Iron Man or Spider-Man. If we run to the left, it's a villain like Thanos or Loki, all right? A couple more to go over here. I really like this. It's going to be our formation for our first conversion after a touchdown. Please have your heads up, you linemen. I'm going to talk a little bit more here. The Z's behind the X. Basically, you're just replacing the X, trying to confuse the defense a little bit by doing this. The X, you chip whoever's on you or just outside of you, and then float to open grass out here in the end zone and be a pass option for James. So here's a defensive look, just real quick. We'll show it to you, and it looks something like that. H, there's no one in front of you, directly on you, so go ahead and look for the next guy up, and there he is. You can block that guy. Center, there's no reason why you can't try to block him as well. Left guard, there's someone just in front of you. He's just outside of you, but on you, so go block him. Right guard, there's no one just on you, just inside or outside of you. So heads up, you're probably blocking off on this guy. That would be awesome. You go hook that guy up, but don't expect an off player to stand there. Expect him to race to where he thinks the ball is going. For our offense on this play, if I unlock it, come on, unlock. There it goes. The QB is sprinting out, so we can expect the defender to do this. Whoops. We can expect the defender to do the same and move this way. So get on your horse, whoever that lineman is, Charles, Finn, Max, anybody else might need to fill in if something happens during a game, and go get that guy. X, you're going to chip this guy and then find open grass out here, and then hopefully the Z gets the end right here, and James has nothing but options. All right, so everyone left. We're going to run it. Everyone right, same exact formation. Keep your eyes up, see where the linemen are. Hey, speaking of seeing where and who you're going to block, is there any rule that says you guys can't say, hey, I got this guy? So X, you're yelling at him, hey, I got this guy. Right guard, you're looking at these two guys and you go, hey, I got that guy. Right? Point out who you're going to block. Who cares? You can point out who you're going to block on a jailbreak. It doesn't mean anything, all right? Except for us. If they start listening to us, then start making dummy calls, guys. Get smart. Here's our empty quads. I threw it in as a kill or a Carter on the left, but if we want, we can definitely run the bubble. I think the bubble's going to be a good play this week, right? And if we run the bubble, we're not doing that. We're just running a good go out and block this whitest guy, and then we got the switch on the I would call this the play side over here. X, get fast, get against that corner right now. Z, you're not in a hurry. Get to that 4 or 5 yard mark and run about 70% towards the hashes. We'd like you to complete the ball at the hash, if not just outside the hashes. All right? We can always run a jailbreak out of this, guys. This is our empty quads. I'm going too fast and I'm talking about plays. Check out the Z receiver and the Y. You guys are inside the numbers, if not on top of the numbers. H and X, you're roughly halfway between the hash marks and the numbers. All right, so that's your spacing. It's kind of the point of the video, isn't it? Here's trips. We want the Z trips right. We want the empty trips right. We want the Z on the numbers. We want the X definitely inside the numbers, about 3 yards away, and then the H about 3 yards away. And this would be our laser or our H bubble. That's a good concept for us. We could obviously run jailbreak out of this too. A couple more formations, guys. Hey, doubles right. I'll take the defense out of there. Maybe I'll put the defense back at the end here. But X motion far enough where you can get back and pin the defensive end and give our quarterback the edge. Right guard, you're blocking out because we're assuming this next team, the Falcons, there's no one in front of you. Obviously, if there's someone in front of you, you block that person first. Daniel, we're going to miss you this week. So Finn, Carter, maybe even Dylan, you guys are going to snap the ball first. And then if you can, race back and pick off this end and help us out. But again, X, halfway between the numbers and the hashes, sprint across, get wide enough to come back and pin the end. And then Z, you're definitely inside the numbers here, but I would actually argue a little bit closer to the numbers. And this is just big boy football. You're going to run up to a 10-yard out, but hey, if it's 3rd and 10, 4th and 10, go to 11 yards. If it's 4th and 11, go to 12 yards. You're a super fast kid that runs something that looks awfully like a professional or a college or a varsity high school athlete out route. It's a beautiful thing to watch. So keep doing that. But let's get that spacing, that inside top of the numbers. Andrew, Porter, of course, even Gavin or Dylan, you guys are racing down the center of the field. There's not really a name for this route. Kind of call it a seam route or a post route, but that's sort of dumb. If I show you the defense, what I want you guys to do, your landmark is to replace the center high safety. And this is a preview of the defense we're going to see this week. There's all kinds of room here. You're replacing the safety. Why? Because he's going to see roll out and run this way. All right, so if we run this play a couple times and you run vertically down the field, they start to ignore you and they know we throw the out route. Well, that's perfect because that gives you nothing but grass out here for James to plant his feet and throw it. And then Porter, this actually goes for all receivers. obviously catching the ball, but let's just say it slips out of James's hand. Go be a teammate. Save your team an interception, and let's keep the ball in our hands as best we can, right? James, you got to learn to take more chances and put that ball out there. So if we run doubles right, Z inside top of the numbers, run a nice big out route, 1 yard past the first down marker. X, motion all the way across so you can pin that end in. H, get up there vertically and replace the center. All right, let's see if I can wrap this video up. Tray right snag. We got the H sort of as a wing to the strength side. We could run out of this, but we're not right now. We're just trying to learn how to run the snag. X, you are inside on the numbers when you run, and just off the line of scrimmage when you run that snag route. Okay, expect to get in the way of somebody that you think is guarding Porter. Brody, you're just outside the hash marks or on the hash marks. Get to 7 or 8 yards. That could be Gavin. That could be anybody. And then run your corner route. James has had a bad habit. James, this is a pocket pass. You do not have to roll out. Porter is just chipping here and then releasing. So don't expect to have a rollout. Just be an athlete, stay in the pocket, throw a good ball. Hey, can I challenge you guys with 2 more things at the end of this video? Why can't you see this in the huddle and then I say, hey, run it to the left? So then the Y is on the left, the H is on the left, right? And the H chips and runs an out route. The Z, you're on the damn left, you're on the hashes, just outside the hashes, running your 7-yard corner. And then the X is inside top of the numbers, running the snag. It would look like this. I think you guys can do that. I'd sure love to get to that level where I can say, hey, I know it says tray right on the wristband, but let's run tray left, snag. There's reasons why we want to switch and run it on the other side, and that's a game-to-game decision. All right, guys? So that's it for the video. I said I would show you one more sneak peek, just a quick look at the next team we play, their defense, and here it is. Scroll down to the bottom. You got 2 D linemen, you got 1 linebacker, you got 3 sort of safety types. I still love the Z big out, for example. I still love the idea that Porter or Andrew would replace the center high safety. I love running the ball inside. So all good options against this defense. Here's another look of it. This would be like our empty quads. Again, we got an edge rusher, and 1 middle linebacker. Look at this guy walking up. Everybody knows he's blitzing, right? Isn't that obvious? So that would mean I would love the bubble over there to Carter and Porter. Here's their blitz look. They're walking their guys up to blitz. This is 18. This is 54. So unusual, a little bit different. All of a sudden they're walking up to blitz, right? So I'd love a kill call or a jailbreak against a 4-man blitz. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Can't wait to see it practice. Let's get better. Let's know our our alignment, so we can work on our assignments on Friday, and then let's attack on game day. Have a good one.